Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Causing Our Loved Ones Just the Right Amount of Tsar, of pain. Sounds a bit funny. Causing our loved ones just the right amount of pain? We should not cause any pain to someone we love. Our enemies, it's something else. But people that we love? So let's take a look at the Gemara in Brachot, Chav Zayin Amud Bet. Rabbi Gamliel was the Nasi, the head of the Beit Din, the head of the Sanhedrin, and the rabbis disagreed with the way he was conducting himself. He had an opinion of being very clear that there's one way and one path, and we cannot have an argument in Klal Yisrael, but he does this way, he does that way, he does that way. The Sanhedrin has to organize it, and he was very harif, very strong in his opinion, and the rabbis disagreed and said, no, we cannot continue with this approach. He cannot continue to be the Nasi. This argument deserves special attention, but not for now. The point right now is that the Gemara records the decision of the rabbis that it was time to move on and have another Nasi instead of Rabbi Gamliel. So the Gemara says, what about Rabbi Yoshua? As a matter of fact, when we're going to leave Rabbi Yeshua, we're arguing over Mariv, whether Mariv was an absolute obligation, which it was according to Rabbi Gamliel, or was Reshut, it was more optional according to Rabbi Yeshua, held optional, Rabbi Gamliel had it was a Chovan obligation, so that's what they were arguing. And they said, the Gemara said, now that we're deposing Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbi Yeshua, he would be a great leader. He should be the Nasi. So the Gemara says they decided not. And Rashi says, because it would cause Rabbi Gamliel tzara tfei, more tsar, a lot of tsar, a lot of pain, which seems to be saying that we're going to cause Rabbi Gamliel tsar either way. We're going to cause him pain. But having Rabbi Yoshua become the leader, the very one who he was arguing with, and for him to become the Nasi, that's going to cause tzara tfei, more unnecessary pain. And we can have another leader take over the Sanhedrin who will not cause this extra unnecessary pain to Rabbi Gamliel. So I think this is a fascinating Gemara. Meaning they knew it's going to cause pain. He's the leader and they are dethroning him. He's a human being with a heart, with feelings. So they're not saying he's a vicious person. They understood he had a shita, he had a philosophy, but they said this doesn't work for us. And by deposing him, it's going to cause tsar, it's going to cause pain. That's a natural assumption. To assume he's going to have those feelings, yes. But we have no choice but to cause the tsar that's needed. In other words, the act of deposing him will cause him some tsar that's going to be a side effect, and that's the way it's going to be. But let's measure it and make sure we don't need to cause any more tsar than is needed for our purpose. So since we can find others who can replace Rabbi Gamliel, not only Rabbi Yeshua, so we should not take Rabbi Yeshua if he is going to cause more tsar. And I think there's an amazing lesson over here in Chinuch that every parent, every principal, every Rebbe, every teacher must learn. And I'd like to just apply it in the next year. Shalom.